I feel like all of our topics this week have been very heavy, and so I wanted to do something a little bit more lighthearted, and that is comment on the fact that the White House, the Oval Office, seems to be getting more gilded all the time, more gold everywhere. Have you seen this clip? This is President Trump meeting with the Iraqi president. And what you see is an Oval Office covered in this tacky Home Depot gold shit. Check it out.
Iraq has been amazing. He won an election that a lot of people didn't anticipate could be won by anybody else other than another person who was not, in my opinion, a good person. Not good for America. I don't think good for Iraq. And I played a role in, I mean, it was very important to me to have somebody get in there that can do the job and do it well. And we have a fantastic champion, a new champion. And
I've been in D.C. a lot recently, and in D.C. you'll see the signs of Trump's renovations everywhere. Obviously, there are the big banners of Trump sort of throughout the city. They've tried to spruce up statues and monuments with gold. The White House is constantly under construction. He obviously demolished the East Wing. He wants to remove the Ionic columns on the White House and replace them with like ugly and tacky Corinthian columns, presumably with gold all over them. The big ballroom, of course, is going to be gilded. There's a renovation at the reflecting pool, which I'm surprised isn't covered in gold. Gold, 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 gold everywhere.
I love gold.
And all of it's poorly done, right? It's all quite ugly. I mean, this is a testament to the fact that Trump, for being a real estate guy, for being some kind of billionaire builder, has never been especially competent at it, has terrible and awful taste. He's tacky. He has no sense of subtlety whatsoever. It's all very ugly. And this is besides the fact that it's all unlawful, that he's stealing money from congressionally authorized programs to do these renovations, hundreds of millions of dollars for the ballroom, taxpayer dollars after he promised it wouldn't be, hundreds of millions of dollars for the Kennedy Center, which he's destroying. Stealing money from taxpayers to pursue these vanity projects, which are the only really thing he cares about. He would rather not deal with the job of being president. He has these vanity projects he wants to take care of. The arch, I mean, who can forget the arch, which he wants to put up covered in gold, of course. In addition to being tacky and ugly, this is all a representation of Trump's orientation towards Washington, towards the White House, towards the president, towards the American people. If you've never been to Washington, D.C., at least the capital area, it looks the way it does for a reason. It's an intentional choice. And that choice is a kind of modesty. Yeah, the buildings are big and there are these classical influences, classical Greek and classical Rome, and these are kind of the periods of ancient democracy that inspired the founders. But there's a modesty there. That modesty represents the lowercase r Republican nature of American society. There aren't big statues to the leader. None of that. It's all meant to emphasize that this is a democratic country, that this is, again, a lowercase r Republican country, that it's a republic. And that in a republic, you don't glorify individual men as living gods. Trump rejects that. He rejects American democracy. He rejects this tradition. And he sees himself more as a monarch. I won't even say a strong man. It really is a monarch than he does a humble servant of the people. And all of his design changes, all of his vanity projects represent that. They represent the extent to which Trump sees himself as a monarch. And that's sort of the big irony of all of this. Trump presented himself in 2016, continues to present himself as this tribune of the people, as someone who understands the ordinary man, the forgotten man. But he does not care about ordinary people. He will forget people easily. What he cares about is himself, and what he cares about is his own self-glorification, his own self-enrichment. And what he's doing is trying to write that into the physical space of DC as well. You can read this as he doesn't intend on leaving, and I don't think that's an unreasonable thought to have. You can read this as just an expression of his basic personality. But however you read it, it is a clear statement of the president's contempt for American democracy, contempt for the country's traditions. And, if nothing else, It is just the ugliest shit you'll ever see.